Over the years, we've seen many dinosaurs come and go. Some stronger than others, some smarter than others, and some faster than others. We've seen this logic put to the test, but which dinosaur would conquer all? Well, that's what we're going to be answering today. So, how did I do this? I chose every dinosaur from the Jurassic Park film series, of which I believe have a legitimate chance of making it to the top spot. Of these we had the Ankylosaurus, Dilophosaurus, Apatosaurus, Spinosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Compsognathus, Triceratops, Mosasaurus, Mamenchisaurus, Carnotaurus, Stegosaurus, Velociraptor, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Indominus Rex, and the Indoraptor. I randomly paired two of these against each other, and the winners of each round will move on and keep fighting until they lose or claim the crown. If a dinosaur isn't able to take out its opponent, then it's clearly not deserving of the title. I'll be using all kinds of evidence and logic from the films to find out which dinosaur would truly be the strongest. And this is what I got. Our first pair is the Compsognathus and the Carnotaurus. Which one of these would win in a fight? Here, we're gonna assume that the compies are made up of a decent but fair-sized pack. When working in teams, compies have been able to take down big opponents, some as big as a fully grown man, like Dieter Stark. But how big can such opponents get before it's too much? Well, it turns out that larger opponents, such as a T-Rex, is just enough to keep them away. We can see towards the end of Fallen Kingdom that just its presence is enough to scare them away, and its roar is even more terrifying. In fact, it's even big enough to take down Velociraptors. The Carnotaurus is just a little smaller than the T-Rex. If threatened, its roars and sudden movements will be sure to send these little guys on their way. Even so, I doubt that such small dinosaurs will be able to naturally take down something as big and as strong as a Carnotaurus. So that leaves the Carnotaurus as the winner, and we'll be seeing it in the next round. Next we've got the Ankylosaurus and the Indominus Rex. We've already got a canon answer for this. We've seen the Indominus Rex kill an Ankylosaurus before. Because of this, we've just got to assume that it would be the victor in other situations. So the winner is the Indominus Rex. Next up is the Mamenchisaurus and the Velociraptor. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Mamenchisaurus is a sauropod that we can see in the game trail in the Lost World. Velociraptors are fast and smart predators, but even in a pack, they wouldn't be able to take down a sauropod. Sauropods are among the biggest dinosaurs of all time, and even the biggest dinosaur, the Argentinosaurus, was a sauropod. Not even a large carnivore like the T-Rex could take down a Mamenchisaurus. As a matter of fact, the Mamenchisaurus would have posed a threat to large carnivores, and could have broken their neck with a whip of its tail. Only one creature has ever been able to take down a sauropod, and that's the Indominus Rex, as it took down several Apatosaurus in Jurassic World. Either way, a pack of Velociraptors definitely wouldn't be able to take down a Mamenchisaurus. The winner this time is the Mamenchisaurus, and it will be going on to the next round. Next is the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Stegosaurus. While the answer may seem obvious at first, the Stegosaurus actually has a decent chance of walking out alive. First of all, the Stegosaurus has a row of bony plates along its back and a spiked tail. With a mighty swing of this tail, it could cause some serious injuries to any predator who gets in its way. A Stegosaurus would actually be a decent challenge to a Tyrannosaurus, and if it wasn't careful, it could suffer some really serious injuries. Now, while the Stegosaurus may be able to defend itself, its chances of winning are still very low. The Stegosaurus does leave its sides and tiny head exposed, whereas the Tyrannosaurus has one of the strongest bite forces in the fossil record, and it could easily kill or badly injure the Stegosaurus. Unfortunately, its defenses just aren't good enough, so the winner is the Tyrannosaurus. Next up, we have the Dilophosaurus and the Indoraptor. This is interesting. Both have a very raptor-like body and pose. At the end of the day, it comes down to their personal abilities. The Dilophosaurus can spit a blinding venom, but it isn't nearly as fast or as smart as the Indoraptor. We can assume the Indoraptor has the same abilities as the Indominus Rex, such as infrared. The Indoraptor is also a lot larger than a regular Velociraptor, and therefore larger than the Dilophosaurus. If it gets sprayed with venom, it may as well be done for, but its speed and intelligence are sure to prevent that. For this matchup, the Indoraptor is the winner. Next is the Brachiosaurus and the Allosaurus. The Allosaurus was a vicious predator of the Jurassic period, just a little bit smaller than the T-Rex. Against an opponent as big as the Brachiosaurus though, it's pretty clear that it doesn't stand a chance against this sauropod. The Allosaurus is way too small to pose a threat against a Brachiosaurus, and it could be seriously injured if it's not careful. The Brachiosaurus takes home the win. Next up is the Spinosaurus and the Triceratops, which is a pretty difficult matchup. The Spinosaurus is the biggest predator ever to walk the earth, bigger than titans like the Tyrannosaurus, Giganotosaurus, and even the Carcharodontosaurus. It is a very intimidating opponent, but its own opponent is also quite a challenge, the Triceratops. The trike has 3 horns on its head, all of which pose a mighty threat to any predator. Even for large predators like the Spinosaurus, these horns were something to look out for. In fact, the Triceratops could very easily kill the Spinosaurus, provided it hits the right place. Even so, these horns could badly injure a Spinosaurus, making this quite an even matchup. Besides, the thin snout of the Spinosaurus suggests it doesn't have a very strong bite force. Overall, it's really even, but there's one small detail that gives one of these dinosaurs the advantage. The Spinosaurus, it has the high ground. Well, not really, but it is taller than the Triceratops, meaning it will be much easier to attack and avoid attacks from its opponent. Because of this, the Spinosaurus is the winner. Finally, we have the Mosasaurus and the Apatosaurus. First, let's address the elephant in the room. These two dinosaurs live in completely different environments. So for now, and just for the purpose of this video, let's have the Mosasaurus swim around in the air, assuming it can still breathe and function as if it were in the lagoon. Now, would a Mosasaurus be able to bring down an Apatosaurus? Would it at least be able to bring it down on the floor? Because if so, it may as well have won. The Apatosaurus, however, wouldn't be able to break its neck, or even crush it because of all the muscle on the Mosasaurus. As a matter of fact, the Mosasaurus doesn't really have a neck. Even so, I think the Mosasaurus is way too muscular to be taken out, and it could at least get an Apatosaurus on the ground. So that leaves the Mosasaurus as the winner. So, now we'll be moving on to round 2. The winners of the first round will now be taking out each other in order to move on to round 3. Our first match is the Carnotaurus and the Mamenchisaurus. The meat-eating bull was a large and ferocious predator, but could it really take down something as large as a sauropod? Well, consider this. If large predators like the T-Rex or the Spinosaurus weren't able to take down a fully grown sauropod like the Brachiosaurus, then the Carnotaurus, which is smaller than both, wouldn't have much of a chance either. Once again, just a mighty whip of its tail could break the neck of this dinosaur. Because of that, the Mamenchisaurus is the winner. Next we have the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Indominus Rex. The Indominus is essentially a better T-Rex. It's bigger, smarter, and has larger claws. But in Jurassic World, the Indominus Rex couldn't even take down the Tyrannosaurus, and actually lost to it. Does that mean the T-Rex is the winner? Well, the simple answer is no, and I'm going to show you why. So, towards the end of Jurassic World, we got to see the T-Rex face off against the Indominus. The two dinosaurs fought fair and square, and in the end, the T-Rex was brought to the ground. The Indominus Rex was able to scratch it, close its jaws, and then throw it on the ground. Fast forward about 30 seconds, and the Indominus Rex has won. It was literally just about to kill the Rex, and would have done so if it weren't for Blue. But Blue can't interfere with this competition. This is between the T-Rex and the Indominus. Between just these two dinosaurs, the Indominus Rex would have won, which is why I have to give it the win. Next up is the Mosasaurus and the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus is a very fierce and intimidating opponent, but it may just be sent to its watery grave. In the past, the Mosasaurus has been able to take down a theropod as large as the Indominus Rex. Assuming the Spinosaurus and the Indominus are around about the same size, then that means it wouldn't stand a chance against the Mosasaurus. Because of that, the Mosasaurus claims victory. Finally, we have the Indoraptor and the Brachiosaurus. The Indoraptor is probably the scariest predator known to man, but its small size is no match for the Brachiosaurus. Yes, the Indoraptor wouldn't have a chance of taking down the Brachiosaurus, which is why the Brachiosaurus is the victor. Now we're on to the third round, with just 2 matchups. First we have the Indominus Rex and the Mosasaurus. Next we have the Mamenchisaurus and the Brachiosaurus. Now this one's a little difficult because both of these are herbivores. We do know that the Brachiosaurus could stand on its hind legs for a brief amount of time. Could it possibly use this strategy to knock over the Mamenchisaurus? Well, let's look at their size. Now, the Momentosaurus does seem to be longer and a little bit taller, but the Brachiosaurus is more muscular. Still, I don't think a Brachiosaurus will be able to knock down a Momentosaurus, and vice versa. Right now, I am leaning more towards a Brachiosaurus, but how about we ask a different question? If both of these dinosaurs were to go up against the Indominus Rex, which one would be harder to take down? With the Brachiosaurus standing upright, I feel like its posture is therefore stronger. The Momentosaurus, having its neck more sideways and upwards, is more loose and flimsy. After all, looking at this logic, it will be easier for the Indominus to grab its neck, especially since it's not as muscular and it's closer to the ground. Because of that, the Brachiosaurus is the winner. And now, we're moving on to our final round. For this round, we have the Brachiosaurus up against the Mosasaurus. Which one would win? Let's find out. Once again, we're going to let the Mosasaurus swim around in the air. Now, the neck of the Brachiosaurus looks like it will be an easy target for the Mosasaurus, and it's probably the greatest weakness of the Brachiosaurus. Just like the Apatosaurus, the Mosasaurus seems to be way too muscular for the Brachiosaurus to do any damage. Even so, how could the Brachiosaurus, a herbivore, possibly attack the Mosasaurus? Besides, all it would have to do is bring the Brachiosaurus on the ground, and then it will be done for. Sauropods are naturally so heavy that if they did fall on the ground, they wouldn't be able to get back up. And so, because of all the evidence, the Mosasaurus is the strongest dinosaur in the Jurassic Park film series, even though it isn't really a dinosaur. So, what do you guys think? Do you agree, or do you think it should have been another dinosaur? Let me know down in the comments. Now, before I leave, I just want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm extremely thankful for that, and I hope you'll check out more of my channel in the future. Thanks guys, cheers.